This is creamy garlic lemon pasta. It's delicious. Here's how we make it. We're going to start. You need about 4 cloves of garlic. You could use any size. I have particularly large cloves here. We're going to need the zest and the juice of a whole lemon, some cheese, pasta of your choice. I find thin pasta works best with lemon dishes for some reason. Normally I'm a bucatini dude. We got water in a pan also. But I just feel like thin, angel hair is a little too thin, but I like thin pasta for lemon flavored dishes. I'm going to go ahead and just peel the garlic. It helps to cut off the root end, just easier to deal with, and you don't get that into your dish. We're going to mandolin these super thin just so they kind of melt and really intensify this dish. And it'll also make it so you don't get huge pieces of garlic. They'll be small enough that they'll break up and be lovely. Always watch the fingers. And that's exactly what you're looking for right there. Beautiful thin pieces. Once you get that all done, throw that into, any dish you have on the side. We'll be using those momentarily, but I like to just keep everything in its place. Next, we're going to deal with the lemon. I'm just going to cut the bottom off to make it easier to work with. And we're going to take a little piece of the rind to garnish with. You don't need to do this. This is completely optional. And then we're going to zest it. I recently got this microplane, and it's changed my zesting life. Don't pull the zester like I'm doing right there. Try to do, I adjust accordingly, but you want to be twisting the lemon in your hand, and that motion right here is kind of what makes the zest really come off easily in full, nice strokes. You can adjust the hand a little bit, but you really want to be moving the lemon at the same time, not just pulling the zester down. Once you have all that zest, also throw that to the side. We're going to now just cut up this lemon so we have 2 halves of it, and then we'll be ready to really start the cooking process here. I'm also going to deal with the rind. We're going to just make a very nice fine julienne on these pieces. The goal of this is just kind of a garnish on the top. We're going to sprinkle these over the end of the finished dish. You also get a real pop of nice lemon when you get one of those pieces in your mouth. Absolutely do not need to do this. Also make sure it is a washed lemon since you are consuming the skin of it. You just want to wash these thoroughly before you cook with them. Throw that to the side also. You don't need a bowl. They're very small. I'm also just going to pick some parsley here. We're going to mix that in. I like to pull as much of the stem off as possible. Stems aren't great flavor-wise in the dish, so just try to separate as much as you can. And now we're just going to add some olive oil into the pan. We're also going to add 1 tablespoon of butter. Let that come up to a nice hot temperature. The goal here is to cook the garlic, then the lemon zest, and all together make the sauce. Salt your pasta. Right before you start making the sauce, we're going to drop this pasta in because it's only going to take about 10 minutes to cook, maybe even a little less, so you want your sauce to come together in that period of time. Garlic in. Do not burn your garlic. Barely even brown it, if anything. The burnt garlic taste in this dish will stand out like a sore thumb. Be very careful. If you burn it, you just want to start over. Don't try to fix it. That's why I'm really going to make sure that I'm adjusting the temperature as I see. At one point, I'm even just going to turn the heat off. Throw in that lemon zest now. That garlic was in there for probably about 2 minutes before I did that. Mix that around a little bit. You don't need a whole ton of time with that. We're also going to add in the lemon juice right now. Both halves of the lemon, add that fully in. Watch for seeds. Pull them out if you see them. Let this cook for about a minute or 2. You want that lemon juice to start to slightly reduce and intensify in flavor. You can see it already looks great. Then the next step you need in this sauce is very simple, but it's just going to be 1 cup of cream. Trust me, this is a creamy dish, but it is not as overwhelmingly creamy as you would think. The lemon juice really, really cuts through the cream, but just make sure it's thoroughly mixed. Bring it up to a boil or a rich simmer. You're not really boiling it, but salt and pepper it at the same time. You don't need a ton of salt in this dish, so be very sparingly with it. A lot of pepper, though, does go a long way. Pepper is really forward in this dish, which is very nice. But once you get up to that heat, then just back it off and let it simmer for the rest of the time. While those are all doing their thing, we are going to chop up that parsley nice and fine. You don't need to do this. If you don't like parsley, you can totally omit it. I am not the biggest parsley fan, but I do like what it does in this dish. About a minute from mixing the pasta in, we're going to add a tiny bit of cheese into the sauce. Also, you don't need to do that. I just like how it starts to kind of help the emulsification process. And then once that pasta is ready, About a minute short of al dente, throw it into the sauce. You don't really need to drain the water. Water coming in will be very helpful. And just throw that all into that pot. Start to mix together, and you can see immediately this is already a beautiful sauce. It's not too thick, it's not too loose, it's exactly what you want. We're going to add the parsley in at this stage, mix it. It won't be overcooked at that point since it wasn't in the sauce from the beginning. You'll get that beautiful herby pop, and you'll get a little bit of color also. So nice already. I can't believe how beautiful this sauce is right off the bat. If you need to add a little more of the pasta water to help emulsify, totally cool. I want to put in the rest of the parsley just because it looks nice. And you're ready. Just plate this up into any bowl you want. I recently bought some new, dishware. I love these bowls. Crate and Barrel. Definitely recommend checking them out. And just sprinkle over some cheese as much as you want. Anything else you could throw on top there. I threw a little extra parsley on it as well. And then we're going to take those little sticks of lemon zest or lemon rind, and we're just going to lay them on top. Look at how beautiful that is. This came together in 12, 13 minutes. Very, very easy dish. Absolutely delicious. Also beautiful looking. Strongly, strongly recommend making this.